When a footy story threatens to overshadow both Trade Week and an upcoming state election campaign, you know it's big.
Yeah, surely Dave Barra must have known the blowback that they were going to get with this appointment, particularly having a female football side.
Those sort of attitudes are simply wrong, and to dress that up as anything other than bigotry is, well, just obviously false.
At the centre of the storm, Essendon's short-lived CEO, Andrew Thorburn, and his role as chairman of Church, City on a Hill. Some of the sermons published on the church's website compare the practice of abortion to the operation of concentration camps and declare homosexuality a sin.
It's not possible in my mind to lead one organisation that actively campaigns against LGBTIQ people and then lead another organisation at the same time that promotes diversity, equality and inclusion and actively works towards that.
Thorburn distanced himself from views expressed by others within the church.
I just want to say some of those go back to 2013. I wasn't even at the church. I've never heard these things expressed since my time. I've been on the board for 2 years.
But for a club with a strong stance on diversity and inclusion, that wasn't good enough.
It became really clear that Andrew couldn't be chairman of the church with those views and CEO of the Essendon Football Club. So Andrew decided that he would stay with his church and he couldn't be CEO.
In a statement today, Thorburn defended his record of fostering inclusive workplaces, going on to claim his personal Christian faith is not tolerated or permitted in the public square.
I think there has been a very egregious attack on an individual because of his religious beliefs.
It's not about his personal beliefs. I'm a person of faith myself originally. But when you lead an organisation, you have to embrace and champion their values.
They burn him at the stake. The Premier and the mob have set a precedent, and it is a really, really dangerous one for this country. Your religion, your beliefs are now fair game.
It's been a really rough ride for Essendon. They've had a couple of clangers. I'm still working my way through this, to be honest. I'm not really sure exactly how I feel about it, but football clubs will know the controversy will find them throughout a year. I don't think you want to start a season with that in your front office, and that'll follow them every time, Pride round comes around, and their members basically, I know a lot of Essendon supporters who were not going to renew their memberships over this. So,
but why has he left the job at Essendon for anything other than his faith, his beliefs?
Do you think it was his inability to come out and say what he actually believes in? Did that have anything? If he had to come out and said, the church may believe this, because as a Catholic person, you can have your own beliefs within the church that don't always necessarily align themselves exactly with the church. Did that have
if you're going to be the chair of an
Yeah.
organisation, is it different between saying you can't have your faith anymore versus you're going to lead that organisation and also lead that organisation that have at times conflicting values?
Yeah,
Possibly.
I don't think it's that he's just a member of this church. He's the chair of that church, and currently on the website there are views that do not keep with where Essendon wants their club to be right now, and where nobody wants anybody to be, because they're trying to be progressive and inclusive as they should be. And I think it's not about you're just a member of this church or religion is a part of your life. It is you are a chair of an organisation that has views that are in contrast to what our views are as a club. So I can understand why the choice would be choose the chair or choose the CEO. But you don't have to stop being religious, just you can only be CEO if you're not running that organisation.
I've, like you, have been turning this over in my mind all day. Thorburn released a statement this afternoon saying it's troubling that faith or association with a church, mosque, synagogue or temple could render a person immediately unsuited to holding a particular role. And I guess what strikes me about that part of the statement, the broader statement, is that his description of how he feels in this moment being forced out of that job is almost precisely what I think gay, lesbian, trans people were saying they felt about the religious freedom legislation, which would give faith-based organisation the rights to say to someone, you can't work here if you don't agree with these values. I'm still not resolved in my head, because it does strike me as unfair that an individual can't have a job because of something that's core to who they are, whether that be faith or sexuality.
Yeah. I mean, surprised it didn't come out in the interview somehow in the process, but that's a question for Essendon.